So this is Fledge at the Open Mustang show at Chattahoochee Hills, where we were able to do the trail class. It was really great to be able to be outside of the arena and kind of utilize the land. So I decided to do him bridleless because oftentimes he likes to go bridleless. So I thought it would be fun to give it a whirl. So here's our first obstacle, which is simulating a gait. Oftentimes we'll have these. And you want it to be where you're never able to drop the rope, and the horse does it pretty seamlessly, and Fledge did pretty well. Now we're heading to what's called the bridge, and this is actually a very small bridge, and it was bright white, so kind of gave a good little peek at it, but he did it. And also something to note is Fledge is only 14'1", and I'm 5'8", so oftentimes people think that Mustangs are kind of too small for them, but they really are horses that can fill up your leg, even though they're not maybe tall in stature. And so Fledge is a pretty fun horse to ride, and he's doing these weaving bushes pretty good. He kind of broke into the canter there, which didn't ask for that. Silly horse. And now we're making our way up this hill to a bank obstacle. Kind of let him canter on up this hill. And he's such a brave little horse. There's a big boulder that you can't really see covered by that bush. And then we just pop up the bank. Now we're heading to the little hay jump. Now for the trail class, you don't really want your horse to jump big, so I asked him just to kind of walk over it, because simulate when you're on the trail. And now we're heading down to our water obstacle, which is straight down this steep hill. You see I have a fair amount of control, even though I just have a neck rope. He is pretty well in tune to my seat and my leg. Really fun to ride. I've had Fledge now going on 6 years, so he was my very first Mustang, and we won our first makeover together in 2012, the Clemson Makeover. So he's been just a priceless horse. Can do basically anything with him, and it's really fun to kind of get out and show people how versatile the Mustangs are. So he's trying to get a drink in the water, but he did that obstacle pretty well. And so now we have to do a left lead canter in a circle. The judge said the smaller the circle, the better. So he has a nice transition into the canter. And I demonstrate a nice small circle. Now I should have stopped right there where I had started the circle, but instead I continued around. So I think I lost a couple of points there. But that was okay. This is mainly just a fun class for me. So now we're heading up to the backing up obstacle, which is actually pretty tight. It's got the hay bales right there. So Fledge kind of took a second to figure out what exactly we needed to do. I think he thought we were supposed to side pass over them. So I just took my time. I kept trying to align his butt with the opening, because I knew once he figured it out, it was kind of a backing chute, then he would figure it out. So he did it. It wasn't the cleanest, but again, that was a pretty tough obstacle. So now we're heading to the last one. You see he kind of gives a little lick and chew. He had to think about that. The last obstacle was a drag. And I haven't practiced a drag on him in, I don't know, a couple of years maybe. So he's pretty good about drags, but I made a mistake here. I made my rope too short. So what ended up happening, he was fine dragging it at first, but then the pole ended up touching his back leg and kind of bumping him right there, and it spooked him. He actually did a really good job of handling himself. Nervously eat some grass. So now he is a little bit nervous. So I had to try to get him back under control, even though he was afraid that it might have bit him on his hind leg. I'm talking to him the whole time because now he's got to trust me and still listen to all of my aids, even though he had a little bit of a reaction there. So now I'm going to work on, he wants to spook at it, but I'm trying to direct him forward. And even though he's scared, he's still listening to me. So once I get him here, I'm going to let him stand for just a second. I'm going to pull that pole forward. And he does really good to hold his ground. Now I'm just going to place it over on the edge of the pole. And he did really good for handling that situation, even though he got worried. I was really proud of him. We had a pretty good round, just that one little hiccup, and it was a pretty fun trail class.